Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our Monday morning meditation. Thank you for being here today. And this is Valentine's Day week, which is, varying degrees of um, commercial celebration of love and usually romantic love and relationships and all of that, or friendships. A lot of times, I know in my house growing up, it was always a big deal, to get those little hearts with the names on it from my mom and dad, and lots of fun things, sharing Valentine's Day and classrooms and all that fun stuff. Funny little story. When my son was in middle school for his first year, my youngest child, I asked him, I said, so do you have a Valentine's Day party? And my oldest one chimed in and said, no, they don't do Valentine's in middle school. And I said, oh, what do they do instead? And my oldest said, well, you go around watching people get candy and flowers, and you think, I'll be forever single. And then the next day, you walk into school with candy that and chocolate that you bought half price from Walgreens. And that's what Valentine's Day meant to them. So anyway, my one of my favorite stories. But it's a wonderful time for us to focus on love overall. And um, my mentor asked the question years ago, which didn't really mean anything to me at the time, or it meant confusion to me at the time, actually. It's like, what does that mean? It seems so true, but what does that mean? And she would say, if love is the answer, what is the question? And I know she wasn't the first person to ask that, but she was the first person that I heard ask it. And just to take that in and ponder on it. If love is the answer, what is the question? If in any situation we are to love, then there's not a question except how to do that. How do I do that? And one of the benefits that we can use our meditation time for is to be able to, in those moments where it's difficult to love, or it's difficult to find peace or find a solution, is that we've, in our meditation time, have been practicing stepping back, calming ourselves, and being able to look at a situation differently. So if I were in a situation where that was feeling stressful to me or jumbled, asking that question is a good way to step back and say, okay, if I were able to love in this situation and feel love, how would I look at it differently? What would I do differently? What different solution would come to me if I were coming from a place of, if I need to love here no matter what would I do differently? And that practice of pulling ourselves back, calming our nervous system, taking a few breaths, tapping into that practice that we do during our meditation time, and then look at the situation. I would say 99% of the time, we might look at it differently. 99% of the time, there would be a different solution that we would go about doing. And, even if we can see a different solution from our rational mind, and still have well, what I want to do is such and such from my emotion. But what I know is the right thing to do is this other option. So I'm going to do the other option because it's the right thing to do, not really because I want to do it or I'm feeling it right now. And that's fair, right? That's fair and that's human. And being able to tap into that energy of love makes a big difference to that right thing that we choose to do. It makes a difference where it's less stressful. We're able to do it with more ease and peace of mind, which is always wonderful for our nervous systems, wonderful for our um, for our peace of mind overall, our reduced stress level overall. So how do we do that? had people over the years say, I don't really know what love feels like. I'm not really sure I know what that feels like. And sometimes knowing what receiving love feels like, it can be difficult because we don't do that well a lot of times. We're so hard on ourselves. We often have a protective layer in front of us that says, okay, I'm okay giving love, but receiving not so much. I don't really know what that feels like. Or I didn't have a very nurturing history that where I felt loved or I felt like I belong in a family system or whatever. So there can be different experiences for all of us of what that has felt like in the past. But often we know what it feels like to love. We know what it feels like to love a pet. We may know what it feels like to love a child, even if it's not our own, to be close to somebody else's child and just feel that innocence that they come across with and just have a sense of sweetness and love and care around them. So we know what that feels like. Maybe we've had a partner that we have loved. Maybe we have a spiritual figure that inspires us and touches our hearts that we have a picture of and we can feel and tap into that love. Just depends on what your experience is. But when we can tap into, I love this person. I love this animal. I love this child. I love this, you know, um, spiritual representative of God, whatever that is, higher power or presence or enlightenment or whatever that is for you. I know how to love that. And that love that we generate when we give it is the same feeling that we can hold when we need to step back and say, okay, if I were loving right now, what would that feel like? Okay, well, I know what it feels like to give love to this person. So if I imagine the situation had to do with that person that I tap into when I think of love, then how would I behave in that situation? What choice, what solution would arise in that particular situation? So what we're going to do today for our meditation time is to tap into that feeling of love and giving that love to ourselves, feeling immersed in that love that is there all the time. It's an energy, it's anytime we generate an emotion and experience within us, it's an energy that's moving through our nervous system and if we can take that to the next level, not just our physical body, but our all around us, our emotional body, our mental body, our spiritual body, if you will, we can incorporate all of those levels, and that energy of love just ripples out around us and touches everyone that we come in contact. It touches your plants that you have growing at home. It touches your pets. They feel it. And it certainly touches other human beings, whether they're aware of it or not. They could be steaming mad standing right in front of us, but if we tap into that energy of love and just hold that, they will feel it too. In my neuroscience education for my work as a therapist and different things that I study on a more physical level, if you will, there's enough research around our nervous system and how we mirror each other's nervous system, wherever we're at on our, if we're feeling really anxious, and this is true, when we're feeling anxious and somebody is in our space, they might start feeling anxious too, or vice versa. If they're feeling anxious, then we may feel our nervous system's going, oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just feeling like a little revved up, or that person is antsy in their seat and I can't be calm because I'm watching these nonverbals of what I'm feeling on the inside that, oh, okay, so it's an energy. And love is the same way, that when we're holding that, it's also contagious. It is just as contagious and certainly more pleasantly contagious than anxiety from ourselves or from other people. So So we're going to tap into that today, getting back to our meditation time. We're going to tap into that today. And I invite you, as we're getting started here, as you're getting settled in your seat so that you can just kind of relax where you're sitting and forget about your body as much as possible. I invite you to think also of who or what do you think of when you feel the most love? When you feel the most love, when you're able to give the most love, what is that person you're thinking of, or pet you're thinking of, or experience you're thinking of? Maybe you feel that most when you're in nature. That's beautiful. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's more about you identifying that which you're experiencing as love. I feel love when, it might be, if you're having a hard time with the word love, maybe think of I feel most at peace when I'm with this person, or when I'm petting my cat, or when I'm in the mountains or by the ocean, in the sun, whatever that is. We're going to just tap into that love and that peace. And I would say love is even the more foundational experience than peace. Peace is the byproduct of being in that space of love. So we just take that in. And if you have 3 or 4 images that come to mind, or people, situations that come to mind, pick one to focus on today. Just pick one. We're going to really dive deep into that within ourselves. We take a couple of deep breaths to allow ourselves to relax more in our chairs. Let go of the day. Then we take a few moments to tune into that belly breath. Feel that breath moving in and out from the belly. We just do this until it feels comfortable and natural, and that breathing is guided by the action of the diaphragm versus just the lungs. That air is being pulled in through the diaphragm, through the belly. When that air naturally goes out, the belly relaxes. Not deep breaths now, just regular breaths. I invite you to picture whether you have an actual image in your mind or you can feel the presence of that person, that pet, that place, that image where you feel the most love. You feel that love just emanating from your heart. It's that person, pet, or environment where you feel that love flow without thought. You might feel a warmth in the area of your heart, or tingling, or just feeling the presence of that energy. That if we had the tools to measure it, we certainly could. Could liken it to the glow and warmth of a light bulb right there, that heart area. Except there's no item between us and that object of love that we're picturing right now or sensing. We don't have to picture it visually. We can sense that that presence is there. You might feel that love energy, not just near your heart area, but just all over, encompassing you as well as your object of pure love. And there's nothing else we need to do but sit in this love. We can notice the peace without thinking about peace. We can notice how it relaxes us without thinking about that relaxation. We can notice that energy without thinking about the energy, just experiencing love. And when your mind wanders, just bring it back to that object of love that is right there with you, right here with you. You might notice as you bring your mind back that shift in your heart, that reconnection to that energy of love all around you and the object of your love, the receiver and returner of that love. And just keep bringing your mind back to love. In our meditations on Mondays, we've talked about how peace is our natural state. And that is true. And this place of love, this experience that is both giving and receiving and just being love, is an even truer state. What a beautiful practice for this week, this month, this year, to spend some time every day in this place of love. It will change every moment of the rest of our day, every time we tap into this. We can change a moment of stress to a moment of clarity. And imagine if every person on the planet did this, what difference it would make. Let's hold the planet in this love right now. All the people, all the living things. We're not attached to outcomes, just holding that light and energy of love. Thank you for taking this time today to hold love with me. I could feel your energy more than ever today. It's so beautiful, and hopefully you could feel that too. And we'll have this video recording to tap into love. And if you want a guided process for that, anytime, anytime, I invite you to practice this on your own. Have a picture in front of you if it's helpful. The energy is always greater when we're gathered together, but it doesn't mean it's not powerful when we're doing it within ourselves. And if you have time to spend more time in this love today, I invite you to do that. If you need to go about your day, just take a couple of deep breaths and bring that love into the center of your heart as it goes with you today and this week. And perhaps we'll practice some more with this next week, because it's so powerful. Have a wonderful week. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.